Yo, what is up, guys? And I already know a lot of people are gonna hate this video.
Warning. The following video contains large amounts of truth bombs. It is advised that if your favorite meal is hater tots and hater aid that you exit the video now. Truth bombs dropping in.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Feels like the civil war just broke out between NBA fans. Basically, Warriors fans versus almost everyone else. And in case you missed it and still somehow didn't hear about it, I'm talking about the Warriors coming back from 25 down to take game 1 over San Antonio in the second half. Now, just off hearing that, you probably wouldn't know what all the fuss was about. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that a team has blown a big lead or anything, so it happens. But there was quite a bit of controversy surrounding this game. So in this video, I'm just gonna break it down and spit some facts. The main thing, of course, that went down in this game that people are saying allowed the Warriors to come back from 25 down was Kawhi Leonard, as he re-injured his ankle in the third quarter. He tweaked it actually 2 times in this quarter within a few possessions. The first time he tripped over a teammate's foot by the Spurs bench. You could clearly tell that he was in pain, but he was going to try and play through it. And the second time happened along the same baseline by the Spurs bench a couple of possessions later, when Zaza Pachulia switched on to Kawhi Leonard. You know, Kawhi takes a baseline jumper, and then Zaza kind of just slides his foot right under Kawhi Leonard, giving him no room to cleanly land, and is whistled for the foul. As you can guess, when a shooter has no room to land and they land on something like a foot, that could easily result in a sprained ankle. I mean, we saw game 1 of the Wizards-Celtics series out east when Al Horford got under Markieff Morris, which caused him to sprain his ankle and miss the rest of game 1. And of course, since Leonard's ankle was already hurting, this didn't make things any better. Leonard would then have to leave the game, and the rest is history. And this is where all the controversy comes from. Mainly people saying that Zaza injured Kawhi on purpose, which of course has Warriors fans enraged. But I'm a neutral party here. I don't dislike the Warriors at all. In fact, they are one of the most entertaining teams to watch that I have ever watched. Same can be said for the Spurs. Not a fan or anything, but I have nothing but respect for that team. But what I will say is this: that play didn't look right at all. I mean, what gets to me is how he just moved his foot until it was right under Leonard. First off, while it can happen on accident, contesting a shot like that from in front and not giving the shooter room to land doesn't happen often, especially from the angle in which the shot was contested. Most of the time when a player isn't given room to land is because the defender is trying to contest from behind or is directly, like right in front of the shooter, and kind of jumps into them a bit. Zaza's case was a bit different because he was a decent distance away from Leonard. It's not like he was right on top of Leonard when Leonard decided to shoot, because Leonard created some space to get the shot off cleanly with a step back. And after contesting the shot, you could see that when Zaza first landed, Kawhi still had a decent amount of room to come down after the shot. So if it was just left at that, clean play, no foul, just a good contest from Zaza. But then he takes an extra step for some reason after Leonard had already released the shot, which then caused Kawhi to land on his foot, which is why I say the play doesn't seem natural. Now, I know I just upset some people already by saying that I didn't think the play was natural, and I'm sure your first response will be to say is that Kawhi Leonard said it himself, that he didn't think it was a dirty play and that Zaza was just contesting the shot.
I'm not sure, just very painful because I tweaked it before the last time, the last shot I shot, and but it's hard to tell right now. It definitely couldn't go in that last third quarter, the 6 minutes, but we'll see how I get better each day.
Did you think Pachulia stepped under your foot when you landed?
Did he step under it? Like a purpose?
Yeah.
No, he was contesting a shot. It was shot clock was coming down, and I'll have to see the play.
And after hearing Kawhi Leonard say that and seeing the play, my initial reaction was, first off, what did you expect Kawhi Leonard to say? Did you expect him to come out and say that Zaza did it on purpose and that Zaza is a dirty player? No, of course he wouldn't do that. He didn't even have time to see what happened. But he did say that he'd have to take a closer look at the play and see exactly what happened. And to be honest, this interview should sound extremely familiar. It's the same thing that Markieff Morris said about Al Horford when the same thing happened to him. He said that he didn't think Al did it on purpose, but he'd have to check out the play. And after he checked out the play during the tip-off of the next game, you could clearly see that his views on the matter changed. Next up, you look at someone like KD. He also said that he didn't think it was a dirty play.
Twitter's blowing up a little bit about whether that was a dirty play by Zaza not to give Kawhi a landing spot. How do you respond to that idea?
Zaza's not a dirty player. I mean, you got to time that perfectly if you want to, if you want to hurt somebody. I mean, we're not that type of team. Kawhi's an unbelievable player. We got nothing but respect for him, but we wish him, we wish that he gets healthy, but we didn't, he just tried to contest the shot, man. Guys were playing hard. It was an unfortunate situation. I wish it didn't happen, but I don't think it was intentional. I mean, you can't listen to people on Twitter. They're irrational. So, but we wish that, hopefully he plays next game and his ankle gets better, but it wasn't intentional at all.
And once again, I don't even see why the media bothers asking that question, because you already know the response you're gonna get. What on earth would cause KD to say that his teammate committed a dirty play? Like, who would do that? All of that is going to lead us to the next point of controversy, the win. This was a reaction you could see coming from a mile away before the game was even over. As soon as Kawhi Leonard went down and Golden State went on that 18-0 run, I knew they would come away with a win, and I knew after they did, there would be chaos amongst the fans, and there was. The main thing that was being said, besides people calling Zaza a dirty player, was that the Spurs would have won if Kawhi didn't get injured. And before I give my stance on that, I just want to say this. You gotta give credit to Curry and Durant, especially Curry. He played a phenomenal game. He was just starting to heat up when Kawhi was still in the game to start the third quarter. And he showed up big time for the team for the rest of the game too, which is what Curry haters wanted to see from him, right? For him to show up in a big game. Now I'm sure they still want to see it in the finals too, but he didn't back down from the big stage yesterday. Was making plays on the offensive end as well as on defense. And Kawhi going down or not, if Curry doesn't start making plays like he did, the Warriors weren't winning that game point blank period. So props to him on a great game. That being said though, you would have to be blind or just straight up ignorant to think that Kawhi going down didn't play a huge role in the outcome of the game. And while it is impossible to say for sure who would have won this game, I mean, no one knows what the outcome would have been 100%, but if I had to place my money on it, it would have been on the Spurs getting the win. I mean, Kawhi was having a magnificent game. What did he have? Like 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and a few steals before the injury. Great stats, but what the Spurs lost the most when he went down was a leader. Kawhi was the guy setting the tone for San Antonio. When he was on the court, the Spurs were dominating the glass, especially on the offensive end. He went out, and all of a sudden the Warriors are getting all the rebounds. Kawhi was being aggressive on the offensive end by setting the tone and attacking the paint, getting to the line and putting guys in foul trouble. He goes down, and all of a sudden the Spurs offense falls apart. On defense, he was in passing lanes, wreaking havoc. He goes out, and Golden State goes on an 18-0 run. I mean, this stuff is not coincidental at all. Heck, even Draymond Green said that you'd have to be stupid to think that Kawhi going down didn't affect the outcome of the game.
Can you maintain that if Kawhi plays the rest of the game, you guys are trailing in this series?
It's impossible to say if we would be. It's impossible to say if we would have won. I think, when Kawhi goes down, like, I'd be an idiot to sit up here and say that doesn't make a difference. He's, one of the biggest difference makers in the NBA. I think, we had got the game to the pace that we wanted, to start this half. Even with him in the game, we were scoring. Every time down the floor, we had really started pushing the tempo. However, due to Kawhi being out there, we couldn't get a stop. And so, we never really covered any ground. So, I think, it's great to pull out the win. Obviously we have to play against whoever they have out there. And, you definitely want to see, him get back out there. Anytime you want to beat the team at full strength, if you're going to beat them. So definitely want to see him get back out there and try to, beat them with it.
And this is why I respect the crap out of Draymond Green. I mean, the man keeps it real almost all the time. I mean, I love Draymond Green. And then the argument some people are still using against this is that the Spurs are supposed to be able to win no matter who was on the court. The example they give, is against the Rockets when Kawhi originally injured his ankle in game 5. He didn't play the rest of the fourth quarter and overtime, and the Spurs still won. Then he didn't play in game 6 and the Spurs blew out the Rockets. So if they can do that, then Kawhi getting injured is no excuse at all. Which I can see what they're saying, but it's ridiculous for multiple reasons. The first being that when you lose a guy like Kawhi Leonard and you see him have to be helped off the court, it's going to deflate the team, there's no question about it. It's going to take away whatever momentum they had, and the Warriors were already starting to play well, so that didn't help either. And then, you're comparing apples to oranges here. The Rockets and the Warriors are two completely different animals. Sure, offensively, they're both great teams, but the Warriors are a much better defensive team. And when you lose a guy that was setting the pace for your offense and dissecting the Warriors defense like Kawhi was yesterday, offensively, it suddenly gets a lot harder for the other guys to get buckets. And the final point is this: the Spurs, without Kawhi Leonard, are still a really good team, capable of beating most teams in the NBA, and they for sure be a playoff team. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they won close to 50 games, but Kawhi has the same effect on the team that MJ had on the Bulls. You know, back when MJ first retired, the Bulls still won what was like 56 games or something like that the next season. Didn't win the championship or anything, but they were still a really good team. Then MJ comes back and all of a sudden they're winning championships again. That's what Kawhi Leonard is to the Spurs. He takes them from just being a really good team to being a championship contender, which is why I feel it's disrespectful to Kawhi when everyone says the Spurs don't need him to win, because while they might not need him to win games during the regular season, there is no way they're competing for a championship without him. And now with all that out the way, I just have one more thing to say. A win is a win, guys. I can't bash on the Warriors because Kawhi got injured. I mean, even if the Spurs did win this game by 20 plus points, that would just confirm what we already knew, that if both teams are healthy, this would be a really good series. Even so, the Warriors would still be the favorites to win overall, and I do think some people were overreacting a bit, saying the Warriors were going down easily just because the Spurs had a 25-point lead. And that's going to lead us to the question of the day. I know it's going to be a war in the comment section, but how do you feel about the game? You know, was Zaza's play dirty? Just what do you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. And now let's take a quick look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday we did a bit of a preview of this series, and I asked you guys what both teams needed to do in order to win. And you guys said the Spurs need to pray and the Warriors need to prepare for Kawhi Leonard. Be more physical to KD and Steph. Don't play run and gun. Spurs got a big shot on winning the series. Warriors, finish and defend the paint. Spurs, LA and Gasol need to play like madmen. Yeah, if Kawhi is healthy, this series is going to come down to controlling the tempo. Spurs had to attack the paint and take care of the ball so the Warriors can't push the tempo. You know, take care of the ball and execute. That's the key for the Spurs. The Warriors, though, like I said yesterday, they just have to do what they've been doing all season long. Once again, leave your comments for today's question of the day down in the comment section below. But other than that, thank you once again for watching the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on it and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!